Wisconsin wine guy back again from a workout. And you know, if I did a workout, what that means, right? Well, it may not mean that all the time, but as of late, that's what it means. And I'm going to be reviewing a NA wine. So for those who are new, these are wines that you can find where you shop for wine, local liquor store, grocery store, or some wine shops. I select a few wines, give them a taste, and let you know what I think about those wines, utilizing the infamous thumb rating system. Thumbs up said, you know what, I recommend that wine. It's a pretty good wine, good value. 3/4 says, you know, it was a good wine. Someone introduced me to it. You know, it'd be one that I would share with my friends. You know, I may even keep a few bottles on hand, but I would share it with my friends. I would drink that at a party. Halfway, no, didn't work for my palate. But I'll let you know why it didn't work for my palate. Doesn't make it a bad wine. It just simply didn't work for my palate. You taste it and let myself and the rest of us know what you think. Thumbs down, always an easy one, right? And every now and then there'll be the infamous double thumbs up. You know, you see that on the wine. That wine is coming highly, highly recommended, you know, and I'm very curious to see if you would agree with me. So if you see a double thumbs up, give that wine a taste, and let's see how we compare. All right, that being said, we are going to be looking into our next non-alcoholic or NA wine. This is going to be Waterbrook Clean Wine coming out of Washington, more specifically Walla, Washington. So now, Waterbrook, if you recognize the name, have been making wine since 1984, you know, when they founded their winery. And have been making wines ever since, you know, from grapes grown in the Walla area, in addition to the Columbia Valley area. You know, their idea is fruit forward, true to varietal, true to characteristic of the different grapes that they produce, Cabernets and Chardonnays, and along the line. So, in the clean wine, the NA line, they produce two varietals. Cabernet Sauvignon, which I'm going to be doing now, and then the Chardonnay, which I'll do at another time. As always, I like to do the NA wines, even from the same winery, separately, independently, so I can just focus only on that particular wine. This is, I don't want to say this is a new category, NA wines, but let's just say that the NA category of beverages in general, but more specifically wine in this case, is starting to take off. You're starting to see a lot more NA wines on the market, you know, and I tend to enjoy NA wines. I mean, think about it. You do a workout, you want to have a taste of wine. If it's, you have an NA wine. You don't have to worry about cheating. You can save that wine on your cheat day. Right? Okay. You know, and I've been doing some experimentation with pairing these NA wines with food. You know, some are better than others, different types of food. You know, so what I'm saying is the road is open when it comes to NA wines and what can be done and what's good and what's not good, etc. And I'm going to do my best to try to guide you through all the wines that they have out there. So, without further ado, let's start tasting the Waterbrook Clean Cabernet. Naturally gluten-free, it says. Now this wine, unfortunately, and not necessarily in a bad way, but this will be non-vintage. You know, so it's a non-vintage wine from Waterbrook. And screw cap, you know, I mean, it's it'd be interesting. I don't think I ever had a NA wine that had a cork. Of course, that would be a lot more expensive, right? Just make it real simple. Let's give this a pour. Now, I think I did reviews for several Cabernets. So to give you a chance to look at those videos, maybe find those wines and then compare, see which Cabernet you like best. So be sure to check that out. And I'm going to set up a separate playlist again. Now I'm getting to have more NA wines. We'll set up a separate playlist for those as well, in addition to the main playlist for the year they're being reviewed in. So now, Cabernet. Again, when I think about these NA wines, even though there's no alcohol, so you're not going to get that body, you know, that exists with them. And some of them won't even be aged in oak barrels. Some may, you know, use an oak chip. You never know. But some will really go through the entire process, you know, of making the wine, then de-alcoholizing the wine, you know, but not giving you or continue to give you that substance of the wine and the richness and the fullness and the characteristic flavors of the wine without the alcohol. Okay, this is like less than 1%, so 0.5% alcohol, residual alcohol, I wouldn't call it that, but still classified as an NA wine. So the Cabernet, look at that color. Now this color, you know, when you think about Washington Cabernets, Columbia Valley, Walla area. Think about the coloring of the wines in the Cabernets. It is spot on with the color. You know, totally. I'm looking at my white background here. That color is spot on. You know, it starts off with that garnet that goes into deep ruby and a deep purple. You know, so it definitely has, you know, color elements to it. And you say, well, why are you swirling the wine? Well, I still want to aerate the wine, even though it's NA. You know, I want to let those wine aromas, you know, just explode. You know, just I want to smell it. I can smell the wine from here. So from here, I'm smelling plum for sure. Okay, plum for sure in this wine. You know, one of the characteristics of a Cabernet, right? So we got the plum, but I'm smelling it from here, which is a good thing, I find, for me. A very good thing. Now let's get deeper. Oh, wow. Has a plummy and a berry jam nose to it. But then it comes around to grape. Okay, what's the point? No, grape, in this case, I always say it for wine, if you can't taste a grape, what's the point? But in this case, most definitely, if you're not smelling grape or tasting grape, then there's a problem, okay? Because this is pretty much grape juice on steroids without the wine, right? So on the nose is nice, you know, nice plum, nice jammy dark berry fruit, you know, and a beautiful color. Now, I couldn't find anything if this, like on some of the others I've reviewed, couldn't find anything if they put this wine in the barrel any time, or maybe use staves or something like that. You know what? You do pick up a little bit of woodiness. I wouldn't say woodiness. Let's say a little bit of wood, okay? And maybe they had stems in there, you know, to pick up some of that. I don't know. But you do pick up a little bit of that, you know, wood nose. But let's give it a taste. Again, I go through the same process. Let's see where the acidity lies. Let's see where the mouthfeel is, you know, for this, even though it's NA. Because you don't want to drink a flat wine, you know. It also doesn't have any character. Doesn't have any character to it. It has some complexity to it. We want to taste all of that. So, two-step process. First, let's test our acidity. And I did find in some of my others that we had some tannins. Here we go. Okay, has some tannins. More grape fruity tasting than others, but definitely has some tannins. Acidity is pretty well balanced in, you know, with this. Don't stand out. It's pretty well balanced in. You know, I wonder how this will go with food as usual. Let's give it a taste now. Okay, now this, although it has the tannins to it, you know, which, you know, you're like, wow, that's great, it has tannins, but it's lacking on flavor. Okay, on its own, it's lacking on flavor. It definitely has a dry finish to it, but it's really lacking on flavor. The finish is dry. You do get some kind of like grape finishes in the after you swallow. You know, but as far as, you know, having a fullness of flavor, it's lacking. In fact, it's almost empty. Okay, you go in, it goes in thin, mid palate, you know, light, not very much flavor. Finish is dry. It has a little bit more flavor to it in the finish, you know, but it's just missing some components there. You know, it may make a good food wine. I don't know. I have to find out. But for drinking on its own, if you want something light and simple, probably chill this, turn this into a NA sangria something. I think it'd be great for that. But if you want to have something that's going to at least get you somewhat close to like you're drinking a Cabernet, I'm going to say this one is not it. Okay? So I'm going to go with, let's see here. One more taste. I'm going to go down on this one. It's just missing. That time it got a little bit of bitterness to it. And maybe it's just, but I don't know. But I'm going to go thumbs down on this one. You give it a taste. Maybe what you think. Retail, $11.99, which is what I get this for. You can find it from $11.99 to $19.99. So there you have it, Wisconsin Wine Guy with the Waterbrook Clean Cabernet. You know, again, you never know what it's going to taste like until you open the bottle, and let your palate be the guide when selecting your NA wine. Like I always tell you, it's your Wisconsin Wine Guy. I'll see you next time with the next NA wine, or who knows. Ciao!